Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be, and hello to everyone. My name is Michael Price, and I'll be your producer for today's broadcast. We have a very special guest today, Daniel Freund, the founder and owner of Benefits USA. So his goal is to help you understand the open enrollment season that we are in now and how you can get a new plan that will save you money and put dollars on your profit line. If that's something that interests you, stay tuned because we're getting started right now. Before we get him in, let me tell you what we're going to be doing. We're having our introductions. We're going to be interviewing Daniel Freund. Daniel will give us a presentation, but more importantly, he's going to give us a live demo. This is what you would see if you were enrolled in his program. After that, we'll do questions and answers, and we'll do a wrap-up. However, I will tell you, Daniel has decided and agreed that if you have a question, please drop it in the chat, and Eric is monitoring the chat. He'll relay it to Daniel, and if it's coming up on a slide right away or whatever, it's okay to interrupt him. He will answer your questions. So let's see who we got here. Oh, there's Daniel. Nice pink shirt. And for the record, people, he ties his own bow tie. I'm going to bring him down to my house to show me how to tie a bow tie. Even though I haven't used one in so long, I don't even know where the heck they are. So be that as it may, we need to get Daniel back in the middle of the screen here. There you go. Daniel, how you doing today?
It's a lovely day here in Maine. Lovely, lovely day in Maine.
Maine isn't. Oh, I lived in Rhode Island as a kid, Newport,
Yeah,
and
well,
used to go down to the dock and just decide what size lobster we wanted for dinner. Lobster we wanted for dinner.
well,
It's
nowadays it's all the internet. We have clients from Guam to Maine, Alaska to Florida.
beautiful.
So we try to help people out.
These are the three questions that come up a lot of times when I'm talking with people, even before I knew you, and I'm guessing that you're going to address all three of these in your very, very cool looking presentation, I might add. So, what do you think? We can,
Yeah, we will answer the questions about why do you need a benefit system, and specifically how it's going to save you money and give you a better ROI in general. And of course, we want to see you get started with us. This particular webinar is about open enrollment, and we know if you're watching a webinar about open enrollment, time is of the essence. So start whenever you pull the trigger, friend.
well, I'm about ready to pull the trigger. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Benefits USA.
Benefits USA is a company located in Westbrook, Maine. We've been providing benefits enrollment administration services to thousands of companies and other organizations, large BEO. We work with numerous state governments in association with Optum and various carriers like MetLife. We handle associations, unions, and so forth, and we are, in fact, a HubZone company. We presume you're here specifically because you need an open enrollment solution right now. Maybe you never had a formal method of enrolling employees, or perhaps the current solution that you have is expensive or difficult. You don't get the support that you want. You have problems with file fees. It's unpopular with employees. We think we're the answer. We honestly believe that we're the best value for benefits administration in America today. We can work with any payroll, human capital management, or human resource information system. We can enroll and manage programs from any carrier, insurance products, TPAs. We work with people that do ACA, flexible spending accounts, COBRA, and the like, in any size case. And we can actually implement, and have many times implemented, cases in as short as 10 business days. Our process reduces errors, and that's important. And I'm going to go through the process quickly here because you're going to see it live in the demo in just a few moments. First of all, we Anytime there's a field where there's required data, we don't let people proceed until we capture that data. We've preloaded the system with data, typically from a payroll system, during the setup of the case, you can decide which fields you're going to allow employees to edit and not edit. For example, data hire, salary, social security number are typically locked, but there's flexibility. There's terrific education capabilities, videos, English and Spanish, PDFs, and so forth. And what employees like about it is the ability to model what their costs are. Particularly with our medical plans, you can have multiple plans side by side, and on a feature by feature basis, you can compare them as well as demonstrate the cost with 2-tier, 3-tier, 4-tier, so-called N-tier or ACA rates per capita for employees. And there are support planning tools to help employees understand what the consequences are in their paycheck mode, and we handle every single paycheck mode. So I think now it's time for a software demonstration that we've been promising, and I'm just going to change my screen here so that we can see that.
It's that time again, ladies and gentlemen. It's demo time.
Hello. The purpose of this demonstration today is just to give you a high-level view. I have zoomed in here, so that's why some of this type overlapped. Your actual circumstance, we're happy to talk to you about. Eric's going to post a link in the chat box if you want to get in touch with us for a specific discussion about your circumstance, up to and including a quote on what it would cost to implement your company. First thing I want to bring to your attention is that we can set this up so whether you're I timed out just a second here. That's actually a good safety thing for you to know that the system, if you walk away from it, will time out. So we're back, and what I wanted to show you here is that we can manage an unlimited number of locations, classes, and divisions. This is an example of if you were a company that bought another company and you inherit the people in Miami, so they're going to have their own benefits, an HR person. And so that Miami Ben admin person can see Miami, but they can't see other locations. And so the whoever's in charge, the chief financial officer, the director of human resources, they can, using the scalable permissions, select who actually sees the information. The point here is that only the right people see relevant information. And when the employees enroll, they only see benefits that are applicable to themselves. So you never have a problem with people wondering why other people's benefits differ a little bit. So next, we want to quickly show you how people can send out an invitation. And your invitation is going to include COBRA people. And if you do have multiple locations, classes, and divisions, you're going to select for divisions, all the divisions and all the classes and so forth. And you put your message here, time to enroll. And you push a button and you've sent an email out to everybody. I'm going to cancel it here so we don't waste time sending out emails to fictitious people. Now what I want to do, what was promised, is we're going to show you what the journey is like for the employee. They've received an invitation. Incidentally, this will display well on an Android phone or an iPhone, on a tablet. And today I'm actually working on a desktop, and this is where you would change from English to Spanish and so forth. So I'm going to put in my password here. And we're going to quickly go through a sample enrollment for someone. And so when the employee first arrives, they're going to have a presentation page like this. They can watch a movie and learn how to enroll. If they want to learn about the health plan, they click on the medical plans. If they want to learn about their flexible spending account, they do that. They want to learn about their accident insurance, they just scroll down and they're going to click continue. Please notice that we have help down here, which is configurable for every case. And I make this a little bit bigger. I'm going to click on continue. The whole idea behind this, as we mentioned before in the PowerPoint, is that we're going to drive the employee through a wizard. So this is information which was previously inserted. We can hide various fields. We can prevent fields from having data changed and so forth. And now we're going to drive this person through. We have a different mailing address if they live in a dirt road like I do in Maine. And that's important have a different mailing address. And incidentally, we capture address information at the dependent level, which you need for COBRA and HIPAA purposes. We can display employment information, salaries, or we can hide this. And now we're going to get to the dependents. We can add a dependent here, and I'll show you here. It's Susan, and the last name is Barron, and put in a date of birth. And if I click on continue, it's going to stop because it's going to ask for the required information. Okay, happens to be a female, and the relationship is his child, and she's a full-time student. And I'll click on continue. Relationship is natural child, and continue. Okay, and now you have the flexibility of capturing an unlimited number of additional pieces of information, such as an emergency contact. This is an example of a read-write field. Okay, Bob, Hope, and put an emergency phone contact. You can keep track of things like vaccinations, for example, one vaccine, I don't want a vaccine, and so on and so forth. This is an example of a read-only field, and we also have the ability to track information that the employee doesn't even know you're tracking, like background check, security clearance, so on and so forth. Click on continue here, and now it's going to drive you through the enrollment. Before we do the enrollment, we want to make sure that the employee has a current employee handbook. How many employers have a document that says that the employee understands the rules of the road and that it's updated, and so on and so forth? So whether it's domestic partner documentation or employee handbook documentation, we can push that as part of the enrollment process and make sure that the employee is going to complete that. And we can attach that with any document that you want. What we actually do is we put a date and time stamp connected with it. So I'm going to click here to view and sign. And you and I both know that employees typically don't want to go through 1,000 pages of stuff. So what we actually do is we make it simple, and we allow the employee to sign on the first page. Okay, so they're just going to click accept and submit, and done. So now you have that. Now you have their available benefits. Okay, here's their 4 medical plans. And this is very important because we know that medical really runs the road. Unfortunately, when we do these presentations, you can't hear this, but this person's actually talking. And as this person is talking, bullet points are coming across the screen. At any point in time, they can click on available plans. Okay, and that's how the video coaches work in general. Okay, explain what it is, why a person might need it, and then the second tab is always what does it cost, because we know people want to get to that quickly. Okay, in this example, we're comparing 4 of the most common types of plans: minimum essential coverage, a MEC plan, then there's a managed care plan, then there's a PPO, then there's a consumer-directed HSA plan. And I've got Tracy Barron here, and this is her pay mode. And I mentioned before we can handle any pay mode. So if she adds a child, okay, you can see how the rates change. If I had more dependents here, you would see we can handle 2-tier, 3-tier, 4-tier, so-called N-tier rates. And in this comparison chart here, this is editable. Every single field is editable. You could have 50 different rows if you wanted. You can also have attached documentation here, which is a little bit more digestible for the employee to read, and so forth. This person is going to select an HMO, and I'm going to click on select and continue. And it's going to bring me to a link so that I can go out to their Blue Cross and Blue Shield, United Healthcare, Aetna, self-funded plan, whatever it happens to be. They go find the name of their doctor. Their doctor is going to be Dr. Jones, and PCP number like that. Everybody uses Dr. Jones. I'll click on continue. Now, if I click on continue here, it says we have to have a home phone number. And you're thinking, gee, why didn't they put the home phone number in when they originally signed up? And the answer is, people are taught that they're not supposed to give up personal information until they have to. And we also want to make the enrollment experience as expedited as possible because we know employees don't like to do it. So we're only going to ask for certain pieces of information if a particular insurance company asks for that. Once it's in the database and we have the phone number, we don't need to go back and ask for it again because it's in the database. This button here is green. which means they don't have to look at the PDF form. Why do we offer the PDF form? Because we know that a lot of employees like to have a paper copy. So this is going to be whatever the carrier is. It's Boston Mutual, it's MetLife, it's Guardian, it's Anthem, it's wherever you want it. Now down here where there's a signature spot, nothing is in the signature spot because this form was not required. Were the form required, this would be gray and it would say form required, and we touch it and we insert a date and timestamp, and that's how it goes. And we're going to submit and we're on our way. Okay, the person's done that. What other available benefits do I have? I want to look at the dependent care. So I can watch the movie about the dependent care, okay? Or I can just click enroll now. And this person says, I want to make a weekly contribution of $65. And it says that's fine. Okay, here's information about it, so on and so forth. I'll click on continue. I click on accept, and I'm done, and I submit. Now, there are actually more benefits available here, okay? The dental plan and the group accident, okay? But if the employee ignores this, they just say, I'm done, I got everything I want, and they click continue, the system will automatically put up the next benefit because we want to make sure that everybody enrolls or waives and everything. We also know that the employees are going to get upset if you push them through things that they don't want. So we let them bail out right away, okay? So they clicked once, okay? And now they're going to say, I'm not interested. And what's the reason? Oh, my spouse has coverage. Okay, that's fine. And now the employee thinks they're done. Okay, now they click on continue. It's going to turn on the next benefit. The next benefit happens to be accident insurance. And this person says, I'm not interested. I'm not even going to watch the video. I'm not interested. And they did that. Now that process took the employee less than a second. It was presented. They had a video. They didn't watch it. Okay. And then they declined it, but they clicked a couple times, eliminating the story of it was an accident. Okay, it was not an accident. You had three things you had to click on different parts of the screen. If we made them click more, they would complain. If they click less, they say it was an accident. Okay, and by the way, if they want to go back, it's still within the window of open enrollment, so they could go back and enroll in it if they wanted to. Okay, and now this person is going to click on continue here, and the system automatically prompts an interview confirmation. We sterilize the social security number so you can mail it in a number 9 window envelope. It's going to capture the additional information. Bob Hope, okay, never put in a phone number. He's a friend. I'm a citizen, and I don't get vaccinated. This is all the stuff that I purchased. This is what my pre-tax, post-tax. These are the effective dates. This is the frequency. This is all the stuff that I declined, okay? These are the details, and so forth. And I'm going to click accept and sign. And now I'm going to click print my confirmation because I'm a paper person. Makes me feel good. Here's my interview confirmation, and it's got a date and time stamp on it, okay? Incidentally, our date and time stamp process is accepted by every carrier in every instance for every type of enrollment that you're talking about, okay? So there's no need to have a scribbly signature with a signature pad or something like that. I'm going to click finish it. This person's name is Tracy Barron. Okay, I'm going to finish and log out. Okay, and now I'm going to go back to my Ben admin. Okay, and I go home. Okay, and now it says there are 3 changes. Okay, so if I'm the type of HR person who wants to supervise, I can click on Tracy Barron, and I can see every single transaction that Tracy did, and I can approve it, edit it, so on and so forth. Or if you're like 99.9% of all the HR people we ever deal with, they say, look, they're big boys and girls. They know what they're doing. If they want to name their, so-and-so as a beneficiary, that's their business if it's not their spouse. Okay, so I'm going to click on process all the changes. When I click process all the changes, that's going to commit all the data to the database. Okay, it's going to take a few moments. I'm going to close this. Now when I go out here to tools and exports, the first thing that everybody in HR wants is a payroll deduction file. Okay, and we can work with any payroll system, and people invariably ask our team, have you ever worked with fill in the blank? It doesn't matter. We handle a case for ADP with 750,000 people. Believe me, their data that we send them has a different layout than the ADP case with 85 employees. Okay, so it's like in Excel. Have you ever used Excel? Yeah. What do you want to do with Excel? I'm sure you get me. Okay, so what I really wanted to show you here, I'm going to zoom in, okay, is when I go here, I want to show you the scheduling feature. And this scheduling feature says I want to schedule so that that file is going to recur, okay, weekly, and it's going to happen on a Friday, okay, and I want to have it done at a certain time, end by, let's see, I'm going to make that 11:30. Okay, Eastern Standard. And now you're going to send that, and that's going to go to an individual, whether it's a success or a failure. Okay, and I'm going to cancel it here. So that's how we handle the payroll deduction file. Other files that are required are automatically set up, and when we're building the case for you and we inventory your case, we're also going to be in touch with the various vendors that you have, from your medical and dental and vision to your flexible spending account and COBRA and ACA and so on and so forth. So I promised you a quick demo. That's about as quick as I can do it. So now I think we're going to go back and do some question and answer. And maybe Eric got some questions and answers from the chat session that we had. I don't know if we did or not.
Daniel or Mike, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, Mike, we have a question from the chat. Is there a minimum number of employees that you need to have to use the system?
I'm going to defer that to Daniel.
There's not technically a minimum number, but there is some cost to setting up the system. And we do have clients that are under 50 lives, but we have, usually the threshold, because of ACA, people really are going to get involved. But we have clients with 20, 30 lives. We have clients with 100,000 lives. So, but you were asking about the minimum. Okay, so that's officially the answer is no. There is no official minimum. Any other additional questions?
I don't have any other questions. I will post a few links in the chat. So, Henny, if you're interested to know what it would cost for you to implement a system for your size group, you can put your information into our form that I'm going to have a link to, and we'll get back to you with a quote on the same day.
Thank you for watching our quick demo today. Again, the premise is that people are watching this because you need something for open enrollment now. Benefits USA, we believe, is the best value because it fits your budget, both for time and money. And we can price things so that you don't have to do an RFP. We know a lot of you work with the government. The government requires RFPs. And a lot of our clients are government people, but a lot of times RFPs will have a stated minimum, and we have a way of pricing so that we can eliminate the tedium of an RFP for you. The software is intuitive. It simplifies the process both for administrators and employees. Self-service or enroller modes are available, and of course you can use it in a desktop, smartphone, or tablet. And the whole purpose of it is to eliminate tedious, error-prone work with automated data exchange. This will help you with your regulatory compliance, everything from collecting the documentation that we alluded to, whether it's domestic partners or an HR manual or security protocols, as well as being able to feed whoever your legacy vendors are for COBRA, flexible spending accounts, Affordable Care Act, and so on and so forth. And finally, we've been around since the turn of the century. Our clients are vary in size a great deal, and we've had a lot of experience. So it's a platform that can accommodate a wide variety of needs. Thank you. I promised that we would be brief today. Thank you very much for your attention. Please see the chat link for a quote if you'd be interested, or send us an email or give us a call. Back to you, Mike.
Thank you, Daniel. That was, hell, I didn't even know that. And I've been working with you for at least 3-4 days. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for attending today. There will be a link sent out to you to get a copy of the presentation. It'll also be on our YouTube channel. And as soon as I get it edited, and we have to go back and fix a piece of the beginning, because one of our incompetent producers, that would be me, made a mistake. So I'll get that fixed in post-edit, and we'll be good to go. If there are no other questions, or concerns or good, bad, ugly, we're going to end the meeting, and we hope to see you soon for our next interview demo. Thank you so
All right.
much.
I haven't seen anything else come through in chat, so I think that's it.
Very
Thank you,
good.
everybody.
Thank you.